Well, you've probably been wondering where I've been for all these. I haven't done anything for several weeks now, so I thought it was time to. I've been busy. I've been working on finishing up the plans to the 12-foot nuthatch sailing version. I have them almost done. The text is almost done, and the drawings are almost done. I'm working on photos now for a fictitious boat that's never been built. It's kind of hard to take photos of, but it'll get done. So today we're going to do a tank testing on, I've been working on, I guess this one is kind of like a follow-up to, let's see which one am I going here. It's an 18-footer. It'll be kind of like my electric motorcraft, but it's a 16-foot version, or excuse me, 18-foot version, and I think I might stretch it out a little longer. I might make a 20-foot version for a drop-in rowing seat for a rowing shell. It's very dynamic. It's a 6-panel, so you're going to get some more chines in there. But it's very, it has that little electric motorcraft transom on it, the little triangle transom. And then today we're going to tank test the Sole Duck Drifter, which is my drift boat design. I've got a couple of these, one mainly for flat water, but I do so well with the 10-foot Hudson Springs Pram and the little brother, the 9-foot Flycaster, that I didn't need a flat water boat. So this one, I should say, from my old whitewater kayaking days, if you're a good rower and you know what you're doing, I mean, Class 2 should be no problem with this. Easy Class 3s might be possible if you're a really good rower and you know what you're doing. And you got the interior filled with airbags, so it can't, well, it's wood, so it's not going to sink, but so you can't build up so much water. It'd be like a whitewater canoe where the interior is pretty much filled up with airbags except for a spot for the canoeist to sit. And so we'll get onto that one later. And then this is a big boy. It's a 16-foot hull, and it's going to be, there's a lot of people call their big boats lake boats, so I'm going to call this one a reservoir because there seems to be, growing up in Kansas with no natural lakes, if there was a body of water, it was either a pond or a reservoir, even though they might call it a lake, but it's a man-made impoundment. So this one's going to be the Reservoir 16, the big res. So early Coast Guard calculations on engines, a center cockpit will take up maybe around a 60, but I wouldn't, that's just not official. But the person that was asking me about a boat like this, that I'm designing it for him and for others like him, he wanted something, put a 25 on horsepower to putter around the big reservoirs. He's up in, I think, North Dakota, someplace. And you got those big impoundments on the Missouri River, and you get some severe chops, so it's going to have some angle. It's pretty aggressive bow on it. He had originally asked about when I had put out the fishing version of the 12-foot nuthatch, whether or not I could be stretched out to a pointy bowed boat. So I thought, well, I'll put in the challenge. So the big challenge, I mean, it was easy to design the bottom part, but the hard part was getting these lines up in here on the bow, and I'm still, I got one more thing I want to do to it to get a little more fullness. It's too easy to come across and then all of a sudden it jumps up. I want a little bit of height in here, and when you look at the model when it comes out here in a few weeks, you'll say, well, that's a strange curve on that top line, but when you're doing these models, like I've learned over time, that what you think is what's going to happen is not what's going to happen. So let me go ahead and reset up here, and the sun's coming out. I can't believe it. It's the 2nd of July, and I'm still wearing a vest. And someday it'll be sunshiny here. And Chuck down in at Duckworks, he's down in Texas getting ready for the T200, the 2012 version of the T200, and I wish I was there. And it's probably going to be a hot one, so let me reset up here and we'll go on to tank testing. Okay, we've got the hull in there, and you can see there's quite a bit of, from about here to here is in the water. Everything else is up. So that's handy. Now let's put some weight in it. I've got a choice between Canadians and some Americans, but since I sell mostly to Americans, we'll supersize one with our big boy American here. He's been supersized a lot at McDonald's and those what the hell's that, NASCAR country kitchen buffets. Okay, there's one guy that's about upper 200s, probably 280 scale wise. And see, what do we happen here? Okay, we still got a lot of bows out by at least 4 or 5 inches, and that's not where he would be anyway. He'd be setting back in here. Okay, that brings bow up. That sinks about, yeah, that's about even trim. That's one guy. We'll put in another. We'll move him back and give him another big boy. I mean, this is an 11-foot boat, and when I put in the drawings, I'm going to have a 6-foot avatar laying down next to it, so you can see there's not a whole lot of room in this. This is mainly a solo boat. Okay, still got plenty of. There's 280, 290 pound guys in there, so more than adequate. Set up and get an idea of the bow here. Let's get him up in a fishing spot up here where he's got a cage around him. Okay, that puts the nose down, but it's still out of the water, just barely. And I put the, if you're noticing on this thing, it's got a flat nose across here. I did that to save weight. The hull will be made out of 1 full length of 8-foot plywood and 1 4-foot, 1/2 length. And because this boat is going to be in rougher conditions, it's going to have a 4-inch overlap, because I'm going to call out 3/8 plywood, 9mm 3/8. Or you can make it to keep weight down. You could make it out of 1/4 inch on the sides, 1/4 inch in the bottom, and then along the side here you could put in a little bit of extra, you know, from maybe up 5 inches, another layer 1/4 inch, and then you can double coat the bottom with another layer of 1/4 inch, so you'd have 1/2 inch. So that'd give you more than enough rock pounding ability. And then you've got a nice little stern, and it's got a nice shape to it. And what do we hear? I had it written down someplace. It's about 42 inches, 43 inches across the bottom here. So you got, for a little small boat, you got a lot of support. Now it's a 16-foot boat is about as maximum as my tank's going to take. So there you can see the pounding through the seas. Boom, boom, boom. Rough water. Okay, let's get back to the side here. Okay. Okay, she's setting high and level out of the water, and pretty much even on the keel, setting flat on the bottom, maybe a little heavier up here. So let's put some weight in it. Let's put a big guy in the back running the motor, and stick another one here in the middle. We've got a couple Canadians on there, smaller. We'll stick a pair of them up here. What do we got now? Okay, we're still just got the chine in the water, just barely, and that's 280, 300 pounders and a couple 180, 190s. Let's throw in another Another big guy here. Okay, so we got 3 guys that are around 280 and 2 that are about 190. Not doing bad. So let's put a couple guys in the back and 1 guy here in the center console. I'll put him back a little farther to the thing. I should have put something out here with a motor on it. So I'm going to go back to empty the boat to where there's just 1 guy, and we'll use a Canadian as a boat, even though it's 100 pounds, is 180, 190 pounds is more than the 25 motor is going to hold. So, okay, we sink a little in the steering, but we're still pretty good. Because the way I'm going to design the seats, there'll be an opening back here and some strength for the engine and the fuel tank, but there'll be little places on each side where you can mount a folding swivel chair, and then you'll be able to either go left or right, depending on whether you're left-handed or right-handed. Let's put another passenger back up in here. Let's put everybody back in the boat. All the heavy guys up in the front. Let's put 2 big heavy guys up in the bow. Okay, still doing well. Okay, let's get them. 1 guy up in the bow, heavy guy, another one in the middle fishing, another one off to the side, and another one back here in the engine. So, and then we'll go around. Okay. Well, let's switch positions with the heavy guy and the light guy here. Okay. I tended to. The clouds and the sun are driving my camera crazy. Okay. And in our bow again. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do some more looking here. Let's go back to a normal. Put 3 people in the engine. I got to check the specs to see how big a motor 40, 50, 60 horsepower are, if they're that heavy. I don't do much power boating, so I'm not up on those figures. Okay. Let's empty the guy. I had put my other boat in here, but it'll fit just barely on the side, so. But it's not waterproof, so I don't want to ruin it yet. Oh, what the hell, I gotta make another one. Let's put a big guy in it. Okay, there's 300 pounds in an 18-foot kayak. And there's the transom, a couple inches in, and there's the bow. Okay, sorry about that model. Let that dry out. Well, that's it for this one. I got the models, and I'm happy with them. They'll be fairly simple. I'm going to give you in the plans an alternate way to make these side panels. Actually, 2 alternate ways. One is going to be where this side panel is even, so you just cut out this long parallel side panel. Another one's going to have a straight line from the transom point to the bow point, and it will be a little higher up in through here than the straight line model, but not as high as this model. This one's got actually a little bit of a hump in it, and when I get back into the drawing program again, it's going to have more of a hump, because I'd like to still get just a little more rise up in through here for heavy weather, because the guy that was telling me asking me about this, building this boat, it gets out in those big reservoirs and the wind picks up. And if you've been out in those big, long, wide open prairie reservoirs up in the North Dakota and Montana and those places, you know how quickly that water builds up. And then this will be another one. I've got to come out once the weather gets. I got to take the electric paddle craft out, or the electric motorcraft, powered by the electric paddle. I got to get out. I want to run up to the Mercer Slough. It's this beautiful little channel. It should be all in bloom now, and the birds are going to be chirping. But it's I've got a dentist that wants a rowing boat, so I think I'm going to run this one by him and see if he will, commission me for the prototype. So that one might come out, but it'll be another 2 feet longer, up to 20. This one's 18 right now. And for my our little flat-nosed drift boat, probably the panels on it will have I want to put in a flat spot across the top here, a flat panel on top, and then angle down as an air storage tank with a hatch on it for storage, but also as an air tank. But I want the flat part on top on the stern, and I want a flat top about, I don't know, 10 inches, maybe a foot back up here. That's flat, and then angle down to make it a hatch, or a waterproof compartment with a hatch. And then, but I want these flat things up here in order to help you put on your anchor, your little Scotty anchor arms, to bolt down on something solid and not have them, at some kind of funky angle because of the way the boat angles. So that'll have that, and then probably in the interior will be two air tanks with a slot down the middle, and then you'll be able to put a cross seat on, some sort of movable brace that you can mount one of the nice seats like I used in the electric motorcraft, the Temperance company, because they got a nice bottom that you can leave behind, and it's all plastic and stainless, so you're not going to rust in saltwater conditions, or if you're in freshwater for something like this. So that'll be probably what the model choices go, or how I will initially come up with the plans. But everybody has their own idea of what their boat is going to be. So, and I applaud that. You can do your own thing. On this hull, you got to be careful. I'll put on the model plans a balance point, and I'm half tempted. I have the ability with my computer program to make this a much bigger model. You'll have to print it out over, when you get it all taped together, it'll probably be 6 or 7 8x11s long, with the panel part overlaid on that, and then you can cut it out and then put that on some 1/8" plywood, all the sides, the bottom, and the stern panel on that, and cut them out. You'll probably have to use the bottom and side panel twice in order to get the whole boat. But then you'll be able to build your model, bigger model, and then you want to be cognizant of where the balance point is. And then as you're building out your model, how you think you want to make your boat, always check it against the balance. We know now how the empty hull, and I've had such good luck with the prototypes matching the scale hulls to how they float in the water, that this guy will the full-size one will act just like this. And so always, put it on a piece of pipe or something like that, roll it around, find that balance point. If you put some stuff in the bow, counter it with whatever you do in the stern, and vice versa. If you put some stuff in the stern, you make sure that it's heavy enough in the bow, because you're going to have the engine and all the steering back here unless you put in a center console. So I guess that's all I can really ramble on about on this one. So we will, I'll see you probably when I come out with the electric motorcraft, when we go touring on the Mercer Slough. Till later.